Welcome to Clash of Health. Thanks for being here today. I know it's a little ballsy doing a video the day after the election, but I feel this impetus to do so. I'm just kind of being pushed um, to do a video, so I am. I woke up this morning and I actually was surprised to see that there looked to be election results. I thought it would go on ad nauseum. And given like half the country thought one way and the other half of the country thought the other way, I can't say that I didn't vote because I did. But I also can say that I'm not like on the rah-rah committee or the oh no committee of Donald Trump, nor have I ever been. I think that's in some ways why I can make this video, because I'm coming from a place of, I'd say, somewhat neutrality, but I'm also coming from a place of fear and uncertainty, because um, on a very, very deep level, I recognize that Donald Trump is the grand awakener. He is someone who is before us to help us ascend to a higher level collectively, ancestrally, and individually. And I think that's his role. And being the grand awakener is uh, like an earthquake, or a wrecking ball, or a lightning strike. I mean, Uranus is the planet of sudden changes. And we're looking at going into Pluto in Aquarius on November 19th, permanently for the next 20 years, which isn't very long when you think about it. But it will not be back in Capricorn as it is today, again, for another 200 plus years. So what we're experiencing today, and have been through 2008, is going to go through this great change before the end of this month, November 2024. And it is also going to herald in a new 20-year period of the people. Pluto in Aquarius, communities. Communities are gonna have a gut job. The people, we the people are going to have a gut job. We're not going to have top-down authority in the way we have been having for a very, very, very long time. So this is scary. Donald Trump is just ushering us into this new age of, Aquarius. And so if people are upset that he's going to take office and do this and that, they're misguided in the recognition that whatever is going to be coming down the pipeline is something we haven't seen before. All the planets next year are going to change significantly. And so going back into the past is not going to be something that is going to be an option. So my uncertainty today was in recognizing his role, not as the person who helps the disenfranchised worker, or what some would call his misogyny or his racism or homophobicness. And I'm not saying he's not any of those things, because who knows who he is? I mean, I think that we're so caught up in our own shadows that we can't really even venture to guess who he is behind the curtain. And I think that that's true for all of us. We look at each other and we see the projection of our own wounding or our own hopeful healing in another, rather than looking within. So I'm just going to tell a quick story, and then I'm going to read some automatic writing. And hopefully I'm hitting home the point of Donald Trump being the alchemizer of our own awakening, if we so choose, or our own demise, if we so choose. But in the end of the game, we won't be able to point the finger at him or give him a high five. We'll high five. we're going to have to look within ourselves and ask ourselves, did we do our own work? Because in the end of the game, as we're going to know it very, very soon, it's not going to be about the authority helping us or hurting us. It's about how we are stepping into our own sovereignty or not. So I'm going to liken, the story is going to liken Donald Trump to a house fire that I had back in 2001. And our daughter had gone to college, so she was safely settled in college, and our son was in elementary school, and I was married at the time, and we were moving. We were moving from the Chicagoland area to Philly. And we quickly got a contract on our house, our cute little house in the Chicago area. And we had a contract on a house in Philly of a really darling house in Philadelphia that we were going to move to. And all was wonderful and all was good. And I actually went to a picture window the day of the fire and said, "My life is perfect. Thank you." And I put 2 pieces of toast in a defunct toaster, a broken toaster, not realizing it was broken, even though my husband said to me the week before we should get a new toaster. And I said, "Oh, it's fine. It's fine." It wasn't fine. So I went up to take a shower, and I'm in the shower and I smell burnt toast, and I go down and I notice my kitchen's on fire. And I almost unplugged the toaster, which had burned down to the wire, if I hadn't heard a voice that said, "If you touch the wire, you will die." So to make a long story, or a short story long, or long story short, to make a long story short, it all worked out. But before it all worked out, it didn't work out. I had to get out of the house. The kitchen did burn. We had to leave the house that day, never to go back to that house. We had to take our stuff and move. The smoke damage and the fire damage was such that we couldn't live there. And we quickly left, that house and moved to a new one. And life went on from there. But life was never the same. And life was never the same, especially for me. I ended up making a lot of different inner life changes and outer life changes that actually led to marital difficulties and eventual divorce 23 years after the fire. And so my ex and I were in, therapy many times throughout the 23 years to try to make it work. And when the therapist would ask us, when did this start? We both looked at each other and said, "The house fire." And so I just want to say too about the fire, if you had told me, oh my goodness, it's 111 right now as I do this, and that was the number of our house that we moved to, 111. Crazy. Anyway, if you had asked me a month before the fire, "Okay, so are you ready? Like, are you ready? You're gonna be in a house fire. You're going to think your life's good, but you don't realize it's not. And you're going to be shaken to your core. You're gonna put toast in the toaster. You're gonna come down. Your kitchen's gonna be on fire. You're not gonna be able to put it out. You're gonna have to leave. Your house is gonna be totally burned down. You're gonna move to a new city. You're gonna leave that life behind." I would have been like, "Hell no. Hell no. I don't want a house fire. Hell no. I don't want to have to leave, my friends and my life behind and my identity in so many ways." But in retrospect, I'm glad that happened. But it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't had a house fire. And I don't know that we are going to be able to change as we're going to be required to change unless we have someone like Donald Trump who comes up and plays the role that he plays and will play and I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't think it's going to be pretty for anybody, including him, unfortunately. I think that I wonder if he will even take office, because I think the powers that be would like to keep things the same in many ways, and the secret's hidden. And I think he's all about let's do a gut job. Let's be the awakener. And so anyway, regardless of what's happening, I can tell you that I'm very uneasy today. I was very uneasy yesterday. I've been uneasy in general for 3-4 years about what's coming. So I'm going to read this to you and make of it what you make. And I'm with you. I'm with you if you're this way or that way or this way or whatever way. I'm with you because I have compassion for this world, and I have compassion for this life, and I have compassion for myself. And in having compassion within myself, I can have compassion for you. So, and I'm speaking from self energy, as you can tell, because it's one of the 7 C's. Anyway, I'm gonna turn my camera off and start reading. Dearest one, what does this mean? We ask you, what does this mean for you? This is the answer to your overarching question. As you get quiet, notice the feelings and sensations that you're having that have struck so long ago. The fear of what others will do. It is not about the other. You are powerful. Feel the power that you yield in the heart of many, which reflects to the self. The meaning of this world is to be understood, the who of you, not what is happening on the outside. This is your sovereign aligned self with form and formless that can only be present in each now moment. We recommend you get quiet, and if you are to share with others, recommend that they do so too. To get so quiet that you can hear the whimpering breaths of the tomorrow lands that represent the in and the out as it is and was and will be. It is all coming full circle. As the circle comes around, you understand that there are no breakage in the path. It just yields the hope of being with what is, and then you are to know how to proceed with your precious life, as the preciousness of life is to be more and more known as each day rises and sets, and the breath comes in and out. We understand the woes that many of you are suffering now, and we commiserate with your karma, yielding the wheel that has danced around. We say, get off that wheel and then circle to your beginnings, the beginnings of time on your grand planet. Go back to the genesis of it all, and then greater understanding of what is happening will be heard from the recesses of time immemorial. Time gone back, but never left, to be revisited. Sit on the bench and decide on the direction. Will the finger be pointed outward or inward? Will you give your power away to the day, or will you seize it with the authority of your birthright? Nothing can upset you unless you allow it. There is something so deep within that controls the panel of your being, something so far out of your grasp. In the waters of your soul, it's there, go find it. It rests the key of your existence and the existence of all. Once you find this key, it will open a treasure chest and all the jewels will be there and yours. If enough of you find the key and open the chest, then things will end and stop where they began. This is the circle of life. Find that circular flow and all will be well. as all is well. You just have to wake up to this and go about your day in the most beautiful of ways. Thanks for listening. If this resonated with you, feel free to share it. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear. And I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you.